Hello everyone, Chrisa is here, and today we're going to be putting everything together that we worked on in our previous videos and explore the body all around. So front, back, and side to side. So I've put everything together, and doing the practice myself, I was like feeling so energized at the end. So I got quite excited. I hope you will too. And yeah, that will be it. This will be our last video for 2019. And so my best of wishes to all of you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas if you're celebrating Christmas. Overall, my best of wishes to you and your loved ones, and I'll see you in 2020. So let's get started. We have done this one before, but this time, as you sit low into that supported squat, you're going to be finding the front of the body and supporting this position through the front body. So everything, the chest, the quads, the shins, the top of the feet, and then reversing it and taking the support, taking all the tension, transferring all the tension to the back body. So your whole back, your head, your neck, your shoulder blades, your whole back, your glutes, the hamstrings, the calves, and the bottom of your feet. So it is a tension transfer game. I am not spending too much time here, but you feel free to spend more time in this position. I'm only just showing you the position itself, so you probably can't see it, but I want you to look at the lower back and see how it's not flat on the wall. There is always a little bit of space, and my points of connection are the top of the head, the head, and the top of my back and my hips. So what I'm doing here, and you see that hand falling, it is that I'm transferring the tension from the right side to the left side. So I am combining, this is the left side, so I am combining what we did in the previous, like 2 weeks ago, in this one exercise, and believe me, it is quite challenging. So feel free to take breaks between transferring the tension from the front to the back and from the right to the left. And exercise number 2. We did this last week, but again, I'm adding goodies to it. So find yourself in a position of a plank, and remember, you can always do this exercise on the floor if you want to, or like by the windowsill, or over a table, or over a chair if you want more challenge. The closer to the floor you are, the more difficult it's going to be. And here I am starting with what we are mostly familiar with from our previous video, transferring the tension from the front body to the back body. And again, we are referring to all the elements from the front, which means the biceps, the chest, the core, the quads, the shins, and the top of the feet, and then in reverse, the whole back body engaging, taking the responsibility to support this position. And as I did before, and this is the most challenging part of this exercise, we're gonna be changing to transferring the tension, from the right side to the left side. So you can see how the alignment changes of this position. So I can release the left side, and then as I transfer over, I transfer my weight and I transfer the tension. And I try to completely relax the right side. And if you pay attention, there's a little bit of torsion there's a little bit of a twist, so I'm not completely square. And I'm allowing that to happen. We don't care about squareness. We only care about finding the right, the necessary alignment for most of the work to happen on one side or on the other side. And that's quite interesting because this is immediately transferable over in Tango. So you can see that torsion, you can see that twist that happens here. And the more you release, the more of a twist comes into the body. So from the same position, we're adding a little bit, an extra goodie here, in a side plank. And this is just to give us to pinpoint two actual items that when you go, there is tension here in the lower body, in the lower part of the body. So still it's the right side. But then as I transfer, and you can see how I transfer the tension over to the outside and how this free leg extends and really tenses up to pull me away from the wall. So one point, there it is. See how it sinks, the hip sinks, but then the upper part takes the lead, and then we squeeze again the right side or the lower side, the side towards the wall, or we extend the upper side, the side towards the rest of the room. So this is another thing, this is another misconception of tension that I want us to tackle. Tension most of the times means this position of squeezing, but not the position of stretching and pulling away. So an extreme extension that we might not need, it is still unnecessary tension. So here you can see how the upper part is relaxed or more relaxed, and I'm mostly supporting from the lower body. And then as we transfer over and we try to activate the upper part, and I'm exaggerating here, feel free to do so, everything extends so we can actually support this position. So this is a squeezing moment. We squeeze everything that's towards the wall. And this is a more extending moment where we extend everything that's in the opposite direction. So extension can still be tension, is actually tension, only it is a different kind of tension. And both types of tension are there, and they are necessary in many cases, as long as we are aware of them and we know how to use them in our practice, and we know to pinpoint them in our movement. So this is one piece, and the other piece, the other reason I put this in is so we can experience that right to left tension in a different kind of position that comes in handy with a different kind of torsion and diagonal pulls, so we can have a better idea of what's coming when we stand. Feel free to take a moment here, like I'm doing, to bring all of it together. And our balance exercise, moving balance exercise. So this is, even though we looked at it from previously from a right side to left side tension, transition, and transfer of tension, I want you to use this as an opportunity to put everything together and try to feel where that change is happening. From the right to the left is quite obvious because we are shifting weight, and that could be a point. But where is the front and back happening? So that's one thing to look for. The other thing that I would like you to look at is the timing of the step. So we're coming in this airplane pose, and as we're coming out of it, there is that sweet spot. Let's see it again. We're looking for that sweet spot that's perfect for us to take a step forward. So you're here, the free leg swings through, and we step. So of course you can take two a few repetitions where you stop, but the idea is here to transition from this holding position to a movement, to a step, without stopping in between. So this is what makes this variation of this airplane exercise a little bit more challenging, because even though there is a moment where we are required to hold right here, this whole exercise is a transitional exercise. So we are continuously moving. So let's take a closer look as we step. As the leg swings through, we don't want to come to a complete stop. We want to let it swing through, take advantage of its momentum, and take a step forward. Notice how that changes your perspective and posture. And you can see how that smoothly took us into walk variations. So what I'm doing here, forward body with free leg. The obvious first, I don't know, or at least it was an obvious combination to me. So front body and free leg initiating the movement. You can take moments in between for mental preparation like I'm doing, and really exaggerate, because of course we don't dance like this. I know I've said this many times, but really exaggerate and see how it feels to drive that forward in this way. And of course we're doing the reverse, back body, again free leg as we're going backwards, and really pull on that free leg and see that's where, and this is an excellent example of tension and how it can be used through extension and not through contraction, um, or how it can be created through extension and not through contraction. So now on our second variation, we have front body but standing leg. So let's see the difference. And this is an interesting one because you can make a direct connection to the plank exercise we were doing before. So the whole front body, including the quad of the standing leg. Right? So it makes sense. The quad and the shin of the standing leg and the front of the foot of the standing leg. So it makes some sense, and it also creates a connection between this exercise and the side plank and the exercise in the plank where we were shifting from right to left. And you can feel and see this torsion that we were talking about. So here we're doing back body and standing leg for back steps. So lots of goodies coming together. Here we're doing back body and free leg. So you can see how this torsion comes in, the torsion we were talking about before, in your plank going from the right to the left. And it's here, it's in your body. So it is a movement that we see it here because our whole action is exaggerated. It is not something that you would see when someone is just walking on the dance floor or walking down the street. So let's see. Front body and free leg. Maybe get some help from an artificial partner. So once you make the decision to align yourself over one side and hold on to that base and move the other side or free the other side, that kind of torsion that we're talking about before happens. So if you felt it standing by the wall or against the wall, now you can feel it moving in your forward and back steps. And leading through the back body and the standing leg. So again, the whole back body, hamstrings and calves of the standing leg included. Now the interesting thing here, at least that's what I felt, is that it was more, it would allow me to hold my grounds, but it doesn't give me a lot of push forward compared to how it felt when I was initiating from the free leg. And this is the purpose of the exercise, right? To notice what element brings what to this equation of movement, right? So front body, front standing leg for back steps. And again, it's a much more grounded, a much more heavy, this is the right word, heavy back step compared to what we were doing before. So now just walk, forward walks, normal size to start with, trying to put all the pieces together, just like the exercise we were doing before, noticing the transitions between the right side and the left side tension, noticing the transitions between driving the tension to the front body or to the back body, and trying to feel full, trying to become aware of which part of the body is the source of the movement at every moment. Okay, ocho time. And here we are doing front body free leg. Again, because it's the most obvious, I don't know, well, to me at least, option. You don't have to start that way, of course. You can start with any other combination you like. So the twists here become the main generator of this of this exercise, and using the different variations, you'll find the one that for you works best. So now we're doing front body and standing leg. So this is quite interesting because, again, it's one of those things that you have the front body taking you forward, but then you have the stabilizing power of initiating movement from the axis, from the base. And that for me, that combination for me is quite an interesting one. And we have back body and free leg. So back body and free leg. Again, a very interesting combination, very subtle combination, because it's coming from the back body and you can see how it trickles down that free leg. But it is very, still quite heavy, and really holding on to the axis, holding on to the base. And it creates an interesting, for me at least, it creates an interesting combination as well that can be used in many different ochos and environments where the milonga is packed. So now you would have back body and standing leg. Back body and standing leg. And you can see how that standing leg prepares the base to move forward. And now simple forward ochos, not simple, combo. Just go and do forward ochos, playing with the different combinations, trying to see how they can help you practice the different ocho types. And we're into the back. Same idea. Back body, free leg, and again we're back to the engines raving here, and you can see it is a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more let's go type of thing, and that is a very cool element in itself as well, as long as we can use it properly and be aware of how that works. And we have front body and free leg, and again that is quite an interesting combination where everything is holding on to that base, but that free leg is really asking to take that step. We transition into back body and standing leg. A very subtle, very calming almost change of things. Again, you can see how this can be used in a milonga environment where the space is tight, or with a music that has some lightness and mellowness in it. I think, at least for me, I don't know. I see now the movement in the video while doing this voiceover, and I'm like, yeah. And now we have front body and standing leg. So we have a relatively heavier situation. I'm taking my time to play with it, just find it. Not really focusing what's happening on the free sides, even though that's not in reality how we dance. But we're exaggerating again. I wanna make a strong note of this. We're exaggerating here, picking and choosing. This is not really how we dance, but we're exaggerating to feel how each side feels and how the axis feels in its totality, all around in fullness. So this, you can see, is quite heavy. It's very front loaded. The front leg is doing most of the work, and you can imagine how this could possibly fit in something dramatic. So again, ending with doing our ochos, going from normal size a step to something a little bit longer in terms of size. And we're trying again to see how all of these bits and pieces that we aggressively practice on come together.